Excellent. So, greetings everybody. Welcome to the Pain-Free Back Plan webinar. This is going to be super fun today. I am Lissa Mahalik. That's Lissa short for Melissa, Mahalik. Please use she, her pronouns with me. This is my lovely assistant, Napoleon Boney Parts. Please use he, him pronouns with Boney. I have two wonderful assistants who are going to, who are not made of bones, or at least not exclusively made of bones, who will be helping out today, and I will introduce them as they show up. So thank you guys for showing up. So today we are going to be talking about the Pain-Free Back Plan, 5 steps to get you and keep you out of back pain, because this stuff actually works. So it is, again, super awesome to see you guys here. Everybody who's here live, yay! Everybody who's here in replay, yay! Congratulations on setting aside a little time to take care of your back, take care of your life, and learn some new stuff. Those of you guys who are here live, congratulations, you get to ask questions. So pop your questions in the chat whenever they occur to you. I will check the chat occasionally because I get a little, ooh, shiny when questions pop up too quickly. So I will make sure to get to them. If I have not gotten to your question by the end, there is a designated Q&A time, so I will be getting to it, fear not. Take your phone, put it on Do Not Disturb so it doesn't make funny sounds while we're doing things and distract you, because that's no fun. Put and leave your mic on mute until I ask you to unmute. My lovely models, you guys know who you are. And have note-taking materials ready, whether that's pen and paper, whether that's on your keyboard, whatever it is, because as you may have already noticed, I talk fast. Get ready for the fire hose to the brain, because I'm going to fire a lot of information at you. There will be a replay available, as all of y'all who are on the replay notice. Hello from past me to future people. And I will try to keep this short, but I am really big on context and detail over cute sound bites. So sorry, that's just how we roll around here. So today, what you will get a fabulous demonstration of how to deal with mid and upper back pain, how to deal with lower back pain, and sacroiliac joint pain, which is super fun and interesting. You will get a live demonstration of me working on a couple of people to handle sacroiliac joint pain, because again, that's complicated, fun, and interesting. You will also get those 5 steps that will give you total freedom and control over your pain. This is a real thing. You will get one surprising mindset shift that will actually move you from being at the mercy of your pain and having it eat your life to confidently enjoying all those activities that you never thought you'd be able to do again. I am also going to reveal that one thing that your physical therapist and probably your doctor can't do for you that is keeping you from getting rid of your pain for good. To be fair to them, they're not talking about it because the insurance companies won't let them, or because they were never taught it in physical therapy school. I'm just saying. So, are you in the right place today? I don't know. This is for all the people who would rather move and meditate than end up on a surgery table. This is for people who plan to live a long and healthy and fun and mobile life, and who do not plan to let their pain stop them. If you are willing to set aside some time to heal yourself because you are committed to your vision of a healthy, happy, unfettered by pain future, then congratulations, you are in fact in the right place. Now, this is not for you if you are looking for an excuse to ignore your body some more. This is not like, okay, give me 5 exercises and then I'm just going to blow everything off, like clear out my arteries and I'm going to go back to eating junk food. Oh, no. Not that thing. This is also not for you if you are super motivated and you have a system you already follow that is working for you already. I love you. I'm so happy things are working for you, but you don't need to be here. If you're hopping from system to system, especially if you've already got something that works, that makes for bad healing. Also, if you are not interested in investing time or money or energy in your body and your health, because this is the thing, if you're going to move yourself to a different level, it's like going upstairs, it's like changing electron levels. You need energy to lift yourself to a new level. Sadly, this is not a magic wand. It is just a thing I wave around a lot, and it's my pen tablet pen. So if you are ready to make a real change in your body, you have to put some energy into making that change in your body and your life. So if you are ready to be active and not passive, you are in the right place. So, a few things. First question is, what the heck is somatics? And Lissa, why on earth is your company called Somatic Anatomy? Because that's really hard to pronounce. Look, it all makes sense, okay? In somatics, the mind and the body are not separate. What you think affects how you move and vice versa. Now, this is not a fancy way of saying, oh, it's all in your head. No, 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 no. What it's saying is that your experience in your body is the baseline. That's what we are working with. There is no fake news in the body. The better you can listen to what's going on outside your brain, the better information you will have about your body, about your situation, about what is going on around you, all kinds of things. Also, your experience in your body is true and real, no matter what I'm saying that you might be feeling or what anybody else says you might be feeling. What you are feeling, that is the deep, ultimate truth. Now, I'm not here to get too philosophical, but I'm also going to say that the other thing about somatics is that nothing is a metaphor and everything is real. That's going to pop up now and again. I'll try to call it out when I do it because it always cracks me up. All right, the short version, what is somatics? It is the experience of being in a body and hence being embodied. Now, there's a lot of fluff and annoying talk around the term embodied. It just means living in a body and noticing and acknowledging and experiencing that fact. And there is no, aha, I have now achieved embodiment. Then go chop wood, carry water, right? So there is no arrival, there's no done learning when it comes to embodiment. You can always learn more and you can always go deeper. And that's just like anatomy, which is my other big nerd happiness thing. So somatics it's very Eastern based. If you've ever taken internal martial arts, anything about moving chi and feeling into what's going on in the body and staying balanced and centered, that is very, very much what somatics is all about. Anatomy is about breaking things down into pieces and naming them and putting labels on them. That's super Western and European. So you've got this Eastern practice of somatics and this Western practice of anatomy, and when you squash them together, you get magic, which gets me really excited, which is why I call my company Somatic Anatomy. Also, I use somatics and I use anatomy all the time, as you're going to see. Reasons you should listen to me. One, obviously, I'm a big old nerd. Big nerd. I've been studying the body since I was 15 years old, all about movement efficiency, etc. I got certified as a personal trainer with the National Academy of Sports Medicine, back in 2003, which is increasingly far away, I'm just saying. I'm also a Pilates teacher through the Kane School of Core Integration. They are big post-rehab nerds. I'm a big post-rehab nerd. I have always been interested in how to handle injuries, how to recover from injuries, and how to prevent injuries. That is my thing. At the Kane School, I worked as a teacher trainer, and that's where I discovered exactly how much I love teaching anatomy and folding that into teaching movement. I am also an internationally registered somatic movement educator and therapist. Which means it's kind of like a physical therapist with a very big, very weird, very cool toolbox, and I don't have to deal with insurance. I have also, in my practice, I have helped dozens of people deal with their pain. Anything from fixing long-term sports injuries, postponing a hip injury or a hip surgery until it's actually necessary, and in one case, reorganizing hip mechanics to show that hip surgery wasn't necessary. That was kind of satisfying. So the real reason you should listen to me, I have personally dealt with neck, shoulder, wrist, hip, back, knee, and foot pain. I am not exaggerating. I have an experienced body and a hypermobile body. So basically, where there is movement options, there is options to move wrong. Back pain is extra important to me because back in 2012, I busted a disc in my back so badly I could barely walk. I had back spasms that were so bad, all I could do was get down to the ground and recover from getting to the ground. When I was going downstairs, I was like clinging to the railing and dragging myself down the stairs to make it to the bottom. It sucked. Because I'd been working with injuries on injury prevention and injury rehab. And frankly, it was really embarrassing. Like there was a lot of shame around that because like, oh my gosh, and then I went and got injured. Because human beings sometimes go ahead and get injured. The trick is how you recover. It's like you might fight with somebody, but how you recover from that fight, that is the important part. I did acupuncture and massage and exercises and physical therapy and Alexander technique and somatic movement therapy. And somatic movement therapy and Alexander technique together have been the most important things for me. So that's a lot of what I use in my own practice. So now I train Shaolin Kung Fu. I play with my 11-year-old when he wants to have foam roll battles and play tag and run around the playground. I am in total, pardon my French, total fucking control of my pain. And I'm going to share that with you today because if you are anything like me, you don't want to be injured. You don't want to be in pain for the rest of your life. And I don't plan on doing that. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. So today, again, what you will get today, those 5 steps, I'm going to show you my 5-step system that will give you total freedom and control over your pain because it feels so good. You're going to find that one surprising mindset shift. This is a good one. And that's going to move you from being owned by your pain to owning your pain and confidently enjoying whatever activities you damn well want to enjoy. And again, that thing your physical therapist can't do for you that is keeping you from getting rid of your pain for good, either because the insurance companies won't let them do it or because they never learned it in the first place. So straight up, here's that one mindset shift, and that is that your pain is actually a good thing. And before you come and try to strangle me through Zoom, here's the thing. It's telling you that you need to make a change. Muscles can't talk. They can only stab you in your pain receptors until you do something. And you can either ignore them and let them keep stabbing harder, or you can be like, okay, I've got to figure this out. And it's figuring it out that's the key. Because if you can make a small change today as we go through this one webinar, that's fabulous. That means that you can easily make a big permanent long-term change in the future. And then your muscles can stop stabbing you in the pain receptors, and that's really good. So today I'm going to show you how that works. Again, what's going to happen today? We have those 5 steps. We have an awesome demo, and I'm absolutely going to offer you an opportunity to work with me during this webinar so that you can get that long-term support, you can get a custom pain relief plan, and you can finally get and stay out of pain for good because, damn it, I've been there in all kinds of pain. And that means that not only do I know how much pain sucks, but I know how good it feels to be out of it and really be in control of your life again. And I am damn confident that I can help you do that too, no matter what is going on. So stick around to the end, and that's when I'll let you know how to get in touch with me. Right now, my friends, it is fire hose time. Here we go. So first question, here's where you get your chatting fingers going on. For everybody who's here live, go put in the chat, where is your back pain? Is it upper back area, kind of between the shoulder blades-ish, right around here? Is it lower back, kind of between the bottom of the ribs and the top of the pelvis, this area here? Or is it in your sacroiliac joint down here at the top of your pelvis? Go ahead, put that in the chat. I'm going to hydrate. And I'm also, while you guys are typing, I'm going to say, so that thing that your physical therapist can't tell you or do for you, that is the full body approach. That is what makes somatic anatomy so different. Most physical therapists work within the insurance system, and they are not allowed to work on any part of the body outside the diagnosed area. So if, say, you have hip and knee and shoulder pain, you might have to go to 3 different physical therapists. Of course, they're not going to get to the root of the problem. That's why people have to keep going to physical therapy over and over and over again, and it drives me nuts. Drives anybody nuts who has to deal with that. I mean, seriously. So we, here at Somatic Anatomy, me and my buddy Boney, we address the whole body and the mind as well, because somatics. All right, let's see what we got here. Checking my chats here. Okay. All right, so we've got some between the shoulder blades. All right, we've got lower back, just left, okay, and just above and left of the sacrum. So that sounds like we've got lower back, we've got some sacroiliac joints. Look, we've got representations of all 3. Awesome. That means that everybody is going to get something out of this. And let me share my screen with you because this is fun. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Sacroiliac, lower back. A lot of sacroiliac and lower back stuff is absolutely linked because when you have sacroiliac joint stuff, that means the pelvis is out of whack, which means every muscle that attaches to the pelvis is then also out of whack. And then all the muscles start complaining because, have I mentioned they're out of whack? Yeah, they are. All right. Here is a cool and pretty graphic, and you can take a screenshot if you like, or you can just enjoy and admire it. So this is the Serve Your Body system, 5 steps, damn it. The first thing down here is the stabilization stage. That is the base of everything we do. I also used to be an emergency medical technician, and I always think of stabilize as in stabilize the patient. If you are in pain, how do we get you out of pain as fast as is humanly damn well possible? So that's the stabilization. It's what I call the silver bullet. What do we get in the, the fewest exercises that get you the most pain relief? And a lot of that is actually some of this cool stuff I'm going to show you today. Education. Did I mention I'm a big nerd? I like talking about things, and I like telling you why it is. And when you know why you're doing exercises and how to do them correctly, then you can do them correctly, and you know how to tell that you're doing them right. Because that's the other thing. A lot of physical therapists are booked to the ears, so they will say, here, do these exercises, and then they will walk away and not make sure that you're doing them right. So, hey, is it any surprise those exercises don't work? Nope. Reinforcement. We're going to see what's working, see what goes well, and we're going to reinforce that. We're also going to come back and make sure that I just said that the things that are working well are going to work. Yes. The next thing I'm saying is validation. And that is when we check in, we see, is this working? Is this not? If it is working, yay. Here are the metrics to show that yes, it is working. You felt like this, now you feel like that. Awesome. Or, hey, changes are being made. That is also validation. That is cool. And, hey, you've outgrown that system. Let's move on. Either way, it is all leading you to empowerment, which is that whole total control over your pain. Because that is damn empowering, and it feels really, really good. All right. So, next we have, it is simple and it is possible. That is the deal. So again, you get the silver bullet, stabilization. You learn how to make sure you're doing it right, education. You get that outside support and the check-ins that reinforce your own work, as well as reinforcing what you're doing that is working. Reinforcement. Did I just say that twice? Yeah, I did. You make sure that what you're doing is still valid and effective, or if you've made enough changes, that's when you get a new and more effective level of support. And then you go live your life pain-free and in charge of your own body. And that is something that can be in your life. So right now, I'm going to ask y'all, check in with your body. Just kind of take a little check in. Don't change anything. That's the hardest part. Just notice. Do you have pain anywhere? How's your back feeling? How are your feet feeling? Where are your feet at? How about your knees? Hips? Back? Check in with your shoulders. Check in with your neck. Again, just notice. This is your baseline, and we're going to make some changes now. So as anything changes, you'll know where we were starting from, and that's kind of cool and useful. So from here, again, today we demo, and I'm super excited about that. I'm going to demo some things on me, and I'm going to demo some things on my wonderful assistants. Upper and mid back we're going to talk about, and I'll be demonstrating that. I will also demonstrate lower back. And I have two people to demonstrate sacroiliac joint because the sacroiliac joint is complicated. It is the most complicated part, really, I think, in the entire body. We're going to start with the upper mid back pain, and I saw a couple people put that in the chat. That is genius. It sucks, but hopefully this will help. Now watch and see if you can pick out the 5 steps as I talk you through this. So, more screen shares because pictures are fun. All right, here we go. This is, here we go. Our goal with all back pain is good organization because that is paramount. That is huge and super important. This image, this is my favorite plumb line image. This is from National Taiwan University's Physical Therapy School. Just saying, shout out to NTU. This is the platonic ideal of posture. This is what we are all aiming for. That's why it's a drawing and not an actual human. Because humans, we are not perfect. We will never be. It's not a metaphor. We are physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. We will never be perfect. However, we can always keep striving. The closer we can get to this platonic ideal, the less pain we have, which is awesome. Hashtag winning and all that stuff. So what we're going for is your earlobe or ear hole is right over your shoulder joint, which is right over the midline of the trunk, which is essentially the vertebral bodies of your lumbar spine, the sideways plumb line, goes through the greater trochanter, little bit forward of the center of gravity of the knee joint and just forward to the ankle joint. So if you know where your calcaneus and your cuboid are, it's right at the line between the calcaneus and the cuboid. And if you don't, that's cool. Talk to me later, I'll show you, it's really cool. All right, because I'm a big nerd and I'm trying not to get distracted. The reason I am using notes is because otherwise I'll be like, ooh, let me tell you more about this. And then the hour is going to be done and we will all be sad because, well, we've learned something awesome about this thing. We did not learn the thing for which we came. Anyhow, upper back pain. Here's the deal with upper back pain. It is often an alignment issue. I mean, most back pain really is, I'm just saying. It's not just the upper body though, but it is also the shoulders and head. And the major problem with this, and I see this, like I said, I've been a personal trainer for a long time. All the materials, like, everybody has a collapsed chest. We have to make sure that people's chests lift. Chest lifting is the problem. It is not the solution. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Chest lift is the problem. Here's why. Okay, so good, make sure y'all can see me. So here's the thing. Oh dang, I'm actually doing pretty well today. All right, so ear, shoulder, trunk, greater trochanter, knees and feet. Can't see my knees and feet, that's cool. But, so here I am. If I'm lifting my chest and I keep my shoulders and my head in this position, in a nice neutral position, I can't see. So I'm gonna bring my head forward. Okay, now I can see. I feel strong now, I'm moving forward. I'm now gonna use my arms. I'm gonna use my arms, I'll take a drink of water. I'll futz with my pen tablet. Okay, my chest is still lifted. Notice my chest lifts, suddenly there's this huge curve in my lower back. Notice how I'm coming forward onto my toes. If I step back, you can even see what my feet and knees are doing. Chest lifts, knees hyperextend, weight goes forward, pelvis tips forward, back has a giant curve, and my neck is forward. So there's this big forward angle here. And when I bring my chest down, oh my gosh, now I feel like I'm slumped. So I'm obviously in that position, I better lift my chest again. No, what I need to do is keep my chest right here, bring my shoulders back, and bring my head back. Then I'm better balanced. So it's as good as it gets today. So here's the thing. With most people, the hardest part of that, one, is getting the chest down. That's pretty hard when you're not used to it. Think about taking the sternum, your breastbone right here. It's got a little point at the bottom, and it's going to point all the way down to your pubic bone. We are all friends now. Find your hip points, come down here to your pubic bone. Your sternum points to your pubic bone, and boom, your rib cage is now balanced over your pelvis. Yes. Yes, I'm putting my hand on my pubic bone in public. Hopefully YouTube won't throw this out. Anyhow. So once you do that, the hardest part after that is getting your shoulder blades back in place. And we're gonna do a little exercise, the shoulder blade box. If you've done this before, follow along, watch the pedagogy, and enjoy the movements. If you haven't done this before, then follow along, watch how I'm doing it, and enjoy the movements anyway. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your shoulders and you're gonna relax them, because this is really, really good for shoulder blade mobility and awareness. Again, embodiment is the experience of being in your body and being aware of that. The more you are aware of the little bits, breaking it down into the anatomy, the more you will be able to control those little bits. So relax shoulders. Lift your shoulders up, just let them come up, and then just relax and drop. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. You do this a few times, it's pretty straightforward. We shrug, we lift our shoulders. It's a pretty big range of motion. That's cool. As we do these things, again, remember, I am hypermobile. If you are not doing as much as I'm doing, don't worry about it. It's probably better for your body, in all honesty. So now, shoulders are neutral. You're gonna press them down and release. Press down and release. You might notice, as I do sometimes, you press down, that's muscle action. When you release, your shoulders want to lift up and then we drop. It's really hard to break that habit, but press down and release, press down and release. The more you do it, the easier it gets to just release your shoulders into neutral. Now, I'm moving a little quickly here because I want to make sure we get to everything. You can always come back and re-watch this part. Notice the part where I stand up, and that will be the exercise part. So you can come back and re-watch it and go over it as many times as you like. So I'm just going to blow right through this. What we're going to do is now we're going to go straight up and all the way down. All the way up and all the way down. Feel your shoulder blades moving. If you really want, you can feel your shoulder blades being pressed up and back and down. And if you can have your head, I'm going to turn this way so I don't turn all one way. If your head can be back, your chin is tucked, the back of your neck is pressed back, then you're not going to get that upper trapezius pain going on here. Up and down. So you're starting to feel stuff here. Check and make sure that your head is back. If not, it might just be that you don't use these muscles a lot and they needed the workout. Back to neutral. Now you're going to bring your shoulders forward and release. From the side, forward and release. Forward and release. Forward and release. So this is like your shoulder blades are coming apart and together. Apart and together. Whichever works better. If pushing your shoulders forward makes more sense to you, great. Make sure they're not coming up. And again, if they're not moving a lot, that's cool. They don't have to move a lot. They just have to move straight forward and not up or down. Then we're going to bring them back, back, together, back, together. You will notice your chest wants to come forward as you do this. Don't do it. Keep your rib cage very stable. Maybe that means that you're not moving as much. That's okay. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, and all the way forward, all the way back, all the way forward, all the way back. All the way forward, keep your rib cage steady. All the way forward, all the way back. Forward and back. It's hard to keep your rib cage in position. That's okay, we're human. But again, the closer you can get, the better. And release. Now we're going to put all that together. Your shoulder blades are going to go up, they're going to come out, they're going to go down, and together. Up, out, down, together. Letting my arms relax. Up, out, down, together. Up, out, down, together. This is really good for your upper back. Not only does it help differentiate your shoulder blades from your rib cage, because there's no joint back there, it's just muscles holding the dang things in place. Reverse. Out, up, in, down. It helps differentiate. Up, in, down, and it helps strengthen the muscles. All 18 of them, each muscle, each shoulder blade has about 18 muscles attached to it. So it's really just easier to move your shoulder blades in a box and think about, oh, okay, I'm going to activate this muscle and that muscle and these muscles and those muscles. Just move your shoulder blades in a box. That will move all the things. Up, out, and down. So that is going to help you get in touch with your shoulder blades, strengthen those muscles, and help you move your shoulder blades independently of your rib cage. That's what it's called. I teach anatomy, I promise you. All right, so lower back pain. Lower back pain is actually often caused by your pelvic position. So we're talking about pelvic tilt. Thinking about your pelvis as a bowl of water. If that bowl of water is spilling forward, that is an anterior pelvic tilt. If it is spilling backward, that is a posterior pelvic tilt. If it is not spilling, that is neutral, and that is awesome. That is what we're going for, as close to neutral as we can possibly manage. So generally, most of us have this anterior pelvic tilt. We go to work, we sit down, we hang out on the couch all day, etc. When we stand up, we're still sort of sit-standing. Or we like standing like this because it looks really cute. Got my booty out, got my chest out, I look cute, my back is killing me. I'm going to stop. So what you do is you can take your hand, put it on your sacrum back here in the center of your pelvis, and press it down and under. And boom, neutral pelvis. Now you can see that my pelvis is underneath my rib cage, which is super awesome. And now it doesn't hurt. This is key. So that you will also notice, watch what happens to my chest. Anterior pelvic tilt, chest lifts. Neutral pelvis, chest can lower. So these two are absolutely linked. This really, really, really helps with lower back pain. That tiny change makes a huge difference. This is what I'm always going for with my silver bullets. So as much as possible, organizing that chest pelvis ecosystem, I suppose. All right. Now, finally, we're going to talk about sacroiliac joint pain. Now, this one is more complex. The sacroiliac joint is the joint in your pelvis. Yes, your pelvis has joints. I did not used to know that, and now I do. So here is your sacrum here, and the top part of your pelvic half is called your ilium. So the sacroiliac joint is the joint between your sacrum and your ilium, because sometimes all those anatomists sitting around doing shots and naming body parts in the 1400s actually got it right. So this thing has about 3 millimeters of motion, and normally the problems with sacroiliac joints can come from too much mobility, not too little mobility. So hypermobile people tend to have a lot of sacroiliac issues, and that sucks. It can also move and then get jammed out of place, which also sucks because then the muscles all have to learn to compensate for the wonkiness, to use a technical term, of the pelvis. And then you have this weird systemic traveling pain that can go all over the body. It's like, some days it's my butt, some days it's my back, some days it's my leg, some days it's my elbow. Not usually elbow, but often shoulder or neck or things like that. So sacroiliac joint pain can get really, really complex. However, it's also one of those things that we can handle. And today we're going to look at 2 different sacroiliac joint situations. One is more typical of what you'd see in the general population of active humans, and one is more typical of the more highly trained and physically educated population. And we have my 2 lovely assistants. I'm going to, Shifra, would you be so kind as to unmute? Come on over. I'm going to spotlight you. Shifra, please use she, her pronouns, is going to demonstrate. Spotlight. There we go. So what we are going to do, so again, thank you for being here. This is super awesome. And we're going to take a quick look at what's going on. I gotcha. Great view. Okay. So Shifra and I have done this exactly once together, primarily to take a quick look at what's going on and get camera angles set up right. So what you're seeing is pretty much raw stuff and a check-in. All right, so as you're looking at Shifra, you can see that actually, overall, she's in pretty decent shape. Like, there's not, there's nothing severely weird going on, except that you might be able to see that her knees are coming together a bit, which makes me think, okay, let's take a look at what's going on in the lower body. Now, when we do that, one thing that Shifra has told me is that sitting down is a problem, because that is the deal. So Shifra, your back is hurting. Can you show us where?
So my back usually hurt in this and like here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's most my back because I'm short, right?
True that, girl. So what we've got is we've got the so we've got sacroiliac joint pain, and it's also coming up into the lower back. So the first thing we did was we took a look at seated posture. So if you go ahead and take a seat. So here is Shifra having a seat on a regular chair. Now sit like you normally sit, girl.
Yeah. Okay.
So the 2 things you're going to notice right here, I mean, if we're talking about pelvis position, first thing you're going to notice is that her feet aren't quite hitting the ground properly. So, you know,
It's not short, right?
short happens. Short happens, but even if we're not going to stretch you, I mean, short is an entirely valid thing to be, honestly. But we just have to build things around so that it doesn't damage your body. But the other thing is the leaning back. So what we're doing is, if you would grab the floor things, we're actually using a couple reams of paper, I think. We're real high tech around here, to change the way Shifra's feet contact the floor. You know, she does this. Right. Now already, notice how that pull from the legs are heavy. Legs are really heavy. And what's going on is now her legs are not pulling her hips forward. So you've got a pretty good 90-degree angle at the knee, and that's going to help a lot. However, we've still got that chair tilted back thing that we're dealing with. So now we have to adjust the pelvis from the other end. So we've stopped that forward pull, but now there's that backward lean. So yeah, if you could grab that baby blanket.
Used to have babies in the house.
I still have my kid.
That? or higher?
Yeah, no, that looks perfect. We'll see. We might want to move it a little higher once you actually sit. There we go. Yeah, so it's kind of right at the top of your pelvis. Awesome. Check this out. So now you see how the pelvis is not getting pulled forward by the legs, so that's no strain on the lower back. And now the pelvis is supported so that it can sit upright. So now the rest of your back can just stack right on top. And the shoulders and head are magically popping into position. Boom, we are happy puppies. So that's going to make it a lot easier. Now, the trouble with this is that if you're used to kind of leaning back into your chair, then your upper back muscles might be like, we don't want to work. We don't like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of floor exercises that first are going to support the stability of the pelvis and maybe help to unkink the pelvis. But also, we're going to do one exercise that's actually really good for the upper back as well. So all y'all with the upper back issues, watch carefully. All right, Shifra, could you come down to the floor, please? And we'll have the camera adjustment moments. If you could scoot just a tiny bit farther away. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Right there. Awesome. All right. So
Okay.
we're going to start at the base. We're going to start with the pelvis again. And if you can just sit back into child's pose. Yes. Relax back. One, this is an awesome stretch for things. Two, it's really a great position to start feeling into what's going on in the pelvic floor. So as you breathe, breathe into the pelvic floor and imagine your sits bones widening, or feel your sits bones widening, because they actually do that. Sits bones widen on the inhale and narrow on the exhale. Widening on the inhale and narrowing on the exhale. And as you do that, what we're doing here is we're actually trying to get a little bit of motion into the sacroiliac joint and into the pelvis in general. Now, I know I just said that overmobilization is sometimes a problem in the pelvis, but when your pelvis is out of whack, you need to move it so it can pop itself back into place. Sometimes you might actually feel a weird, a little adjustment or whatever. And sometimes it just starts feeling better. We like that. So as you're doing that, the other thing this is doing is this is bringing up awareness of the sits bones, how they move, and how you breathe. So come back up into hands and knees. And we're going to do, real quick, we're going to do a little cat-cow. So bring your head in line with your tail. So imagine your tailbone. There you go. Tuck your chin just a little bit. There we go. Nice long back. And from the sits bones, as you inhale, you're going to widen the sits bones and let that curve your spine into the cow position. And as you exhale, you're going to squeeze the sits bones together and let that lift your back into the cat. Now, as I've just demonstrated, as you move your spine, as you move your pelvis, it's going to change the curvature of your spine. Good. Inhale, widen. And exhale, arch and narrow. Yes. So when you're driving this from the pelvis, initiating from the pelvis, then that gives your pelvis, one, it kind of clues your pelvis in. Oh, hey, wait, I'm actually affecting the spine a lot. Maybe I should be more careful of what I'm doing. Nice. And inhaling down. And exhaling up. Nice. It's also really good for the unity of pelvis and spine. When you consciously notice the way that the pelvis affects the spine, then it makes it a lot easier to make good pelvic choices, so to speak. Maybe I need that on a t-shirt. All right. So come on down to the floor and let's do the Cobra exercise. Now, this is the exercise that's going to strengthen between the shoulder blades and the mid to upper back so that you can, let me blow this up so I can really see what's going on.
Are you good?
Yeah. The camera is great. My window is a little small because window is small. Okay, yeah, that looks great. Okay. So bring your hands out to the sides, palms down to the floor. There you go. Bring your hands out so you're sort of making a T position. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So what you're going to do is this is driving from the shoulder blades. So the shoulder blades are going to go down and back and squeeze together. And as they do that, they're going to move your arms. And yes, you're going to need to move that chair. So the shoulder blades squeeze together and back. And the shoulder blades are going to move your arms down by your hips. So you can lift, lift, lift. Good. And your thumbs are pointing to the ceiling. Flip your hands around. There you go. So the backs of your hands, yes, are pointing to your hips. And then bring it right back down. Cool. And again, coming on up, squeezing the shoulder blades, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Gorgeous. Now, if you're feeling this in your lower back, you should be feeling this more between your shoulder blades than in your lower back. It looks like the lower back might be doing a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you do this, you get to add one more thing to think about, is you get to exhale and pull your belly button in. So exhaling, squeeze the shoulder blades, pull the belly button in. Yes, yes. Does that feel different?
Yeah.
Good.
I need to really think, it's early in the morning here in the West Coast.
Oh, that's right. My goodness. Couple more times. Remember, the palms start down on the ground, and as they come up, the thumbs roll up towards the ceiling until the backs of your hands are towards the hips. Yes, you're opening up the front of the chest. Yes, and the belly button is coming in, and that's supporting your low back. Yeah, so that is going to work. You should feel that primarily between the shoulder blades and in that upper back area, and that is going to help support your body as we work through this chair setup here, and that's going to help you out. All right, awesome. Thank you very much, Shifra. I really appreciate you being here, especially at early hours on the West Coast there.
Not that early, I'm just kidding.
How are you feeling?
Good.
Good. That feels like we're getting somewhere there?
Yes, I believe we do.
Nice. All right. And if you guys know Shifra, she does not pull her punches. So if she's like, no, that was bullshit, then she would be telling me right now.
Yeah. I will. No, I do believe that the exercises that I just did really helped me with my lower back and the sitting. It's amazing how that little baby memory helps. So yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. All right. And now I'm going to bring in our other pelvis person who is going to be joining us today. And this is Ian. Please use he, him pronouns. Hello, Ian. All right. Yes, please unmute so we can chat and stuff. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we've got Ian standing here, and we can see that again, with Ian, I'm going to ask you to do some turns. So first off, just take a look at how he's organized. Again, chest is in great position. So that's pretty cool. The interesting thing I'm noticing is that your toes are again pointed right. So we'll see if that changes over the course of today, and who knows. Can you do a quarter turn for me so we can see you side on?
This way?
Either way. We're going to do a full 360 eventually. A little bit more so we can get you. Yeah, awesome. So noticing how actually Ian's chest is in great position and the pelvis is not sticking out. So he does not have an anterior pelvic tilt, which is super cool. He doesn't even have a posterior pelvic tilt. When we talked, Ian was actually mentioning that this is something he's really been working on, and it shows. Nice work. One more quarter turn, bro. Excellent. Well, I say one more, but we're going to do yet another. Yeah, So it looks like there might be a little drop on the right hip from this side. I'm not sure, but that might be what I'm seeing. Let's see what changes as we go around. And one more quarter turn, and I mean it. This is actually the final quarter turn. A little bit more so I can get the full side on. Okay, there we go. Good. And again, pelvis and hips pretty much aligned. Looking from this side, it almost looks like you do have a slight anterior pelvic tilt on the left half. And I believe that's exactly what we noticed when we were doing a quick visual check at the beginning of this. Okay, so it looks like we've got that left pelvic half going forward. So if you face the camera again, please. Awesome. Put your hands on your hips, fingertips on ASIS, yeah, etc. So
just jump to the left.
And then a step to the right. Yes, shout out to the Rocky Horrorites in the house. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so it does look like the right is a little bit anterior. Is that what I just said? Left and right are hard, man. Left and right are definitely
But
hard.
it was the left that you were saying.
That
This is
one.
the
Yes.
left.
Thank you. Yes, and that was the one that I meant was forward
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
because Zoom drives
Oh,
me
you're
nuts.
right. Yeah. No, I see it.
Yes. This, everybody watching, this is exactly how my sessions go all the flipping time. Like, wait, was that left or right? So yes, that little bugger is forward, and you can also see how that is contributing to your toes pointing one direction, your upper body pointing another direction. So
Okay.
that's kind of interesting. Um, and you've had a bike accident in the past where you landed really hard on one leg. So when you have that strong pressure coming down, that is actually, yeah, that is a classic mechanism for sacroiliac injury, like that up and down pressure. So that could well be part of what is going on all the way today, which kind of sucks. So sorry about that. So aim your camera down at your mat and let's do some basic pelvis derotation. Let's see, left is forward, right? Correct?
Left.
Left is forward?
Left is forward.
Thank
You
you.
mean it's right's going to be closer to you? Is that what you mean?
Yes, no, I'm just like, which pelvic half is forward? It's the left half.
Oh, I don't know. You said words like anterior. Like
Yes.
this
Yeah,
was
that one. Okay, yes, thank you. So that is your left.
right.
Okay, good. No, correct.
You know what you need? You need like a shirt that has silk screen on one side, left.
Oh my God, that would be so good.
Good.
All right, down on the floor, my friend.
Yes.
On your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Look, it's Ian. All right, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And what you're gonna do is we're gonna do a basic derotation of the pelvis. Since the left half is rotated forward, what that means is that all the muscles in the front of the hip are shortened. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna activate the muscles in the back of the hip to get that pelvis back into place. So take your left hand and put it behind your thigh bone. Yeah. So back of your thigh, awesome. And then your right hand is gonna go on top of your knee. Yep, and right there. Now, attempting to relax your belly muscles as much as possible, which is really hard in this position, I know, but that's okay. What you're gonna do is press against your hands and press your hands against your knees so that we're derotating the pelvis this way. And now pause, and we'll do it again. Pressing. Awesome, and release. One more time, because 3 is the magic number. Yes. Okay, that looks awesome. Bring your feet down to the ground. So sometimes when you're doing this, you put your hands on your hip points, you might notice like, oh wow, things have changed. Or you might not. Either way, that's okay, because we've got a couple more things that we're gonna do. So bring your fists together and put both fists in between your knees now. Yep, and again, aiming to keep the pelvis as relaxed as possible. Just gonna squeeze on your knees and think about your inner thigh muscles, your adductors. They come right down and they attach to the bottom of your pelvis. Between your sits bones and your pubic bone, there are these two little bones, the pubic rami, one ramus, two rami, and that's where your adductors attach. You can release, do it a couple more times. See, you're learning anatomy. Anatomy to educate you so you know how to do this right. And if you're really getting geeky, you might start to think about how the pubic rami can balance evenly. One more time. Give it a squeeze. Awesome. This is usually the one that I start feeling weird little pops in my pelvis, which is always super fun. And then bring your hips, those are feet. Bring your feet down, please. I promise you, I teach anatomy. Okay. Good, I'm just checking in, like, all right, where's the pelvis? How's it going? So far, so good? Yes. Then bring your hands to the outside of your hips. Hips. Knees, like I said, macros, man, that's hard. And then pressing again, your legs against your hands against your legs, keeping the abs as relaxed as possible. So we're really working on the abductors right now, your hip muscles. Squeeze those again. Excellent, and one more time. Awesome, release. Bring it down to the ground.
on a third here.
Third? Okay, awesome. There we go. Then bring him down to the ground. Again, maybe something's changed, maybe it hasn't. Checking in with your hips. And then I'm going to ask you to stand back up and rearrange your pelvis just so we can check in. Did it work? Let's validate that exercise. Rawr.
Rawr.
Rawr is very important. Okay. Can you angle your camera up just a little bit more?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Right now we've just got hips down, which is awesome, but I want to see how your upper body is going. Yeah. Okay. So take like a half step back just so we can see your whole feet. Yeah. So notice how his feet are pointing forward now. That's kind of cool. And let's see a side view. All right, a little bit more rotation. There you go. Okay, so here's the right. Again, the pelvis is still in great shape. And do your 180 so we can check out that left where there is a slight anterior tilt. There's a little bit there, but that is looking better to me. How's it feeling?
It feels, yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some kind of a shift, and I can't make sense of what that is, but it feels, I definitely feel like a little looser in the right hip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because your right hip is generally the grouchy one, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so rebalancing the pelvis, we can see a little bit of what's going on in there, which is super cool. And you're feeling that, hey, the thing that's usually tight is no longer tight, and that is super effing awesome. Thank you, Ian. Thank you for coming up here and, letting us use you as a guinea pig and all the things. I very much appreciate it. You even got your ring light out. Thanks. All right. So I just muted myself instead of you. I am sorry. All right. I saw an unmuted thing and then I went there. Okay. So I'm going to spotlight myself. Ian, if you could make sure you're muted just in case, because mutes are a thing. And so that is how we do it. You can see we got the stabilization. There's just one thing that we're really working on. With Shifra, it's that seated position. Then, we're looking at the pelvic tilt. Why does the pelvic tilt matter? Because, well, everything else we've talked about today, all that education. We're reinforcing that support with, one, the things under the feet and the things on her low back, and also that Cobra exercise where we're strengthening the muscles she's going to need to stay upright. Validation, just that constant checking in. Does it work? Is it feeling good? If it's feeling good, awesome. And even now, just after that little bit, she's empowered that much more to start taking care of herself. Similarly with Ian, like, okay, what's going on? Actually, you're pretty stable. Most things are in good position, but then there's that one little thing that's going on with the hip. So when we've got, so we do that whole derotation thing, we're checking in. And I think probably we'd want to emphasize that that left going back a little bit more. So we'd keep picking up on that. But already you're feeling a difference. Again, education, here's the sacroiliac joint, this is what it does, and this is why we're doing this thing, and pelvises move and things like that. Sorry, pelvis, that's a thing. And reinforcing what he's doing already. We had a validation check. When we started out, his toes were pointing one direction. When we finished up, the toes were pointing straight. That was pretty freaking cool, I'm just saying. It happens, the human body, yes. And that, just having that is that much more empowering to be like, yeah, I can take control of this thing. I can get my damn feet pointing in the right direction. So this is how it works. And this is why I get so excited about this stuff. So what I promised, what we did, that was the 5 steps to total freedom and control over your pain. And that's how it works, my friend. That one mindset shift, your pain is your friend and teacher. It is not your torturer, unless you ignore it, in which case all the poor things can do is just stab you in your nociceptors. That thing your physical therapist can't do for you is look at you as a full body. They can only look at one piece. And the other thing that I promised that we did today was some awesome demos. I love you guys. That was so cool. Thank you. Full body hard. So that was really helpful because, again, what you're seeing is that everyone needs something slightly different to heal. What is it? That depends. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and there is no one way to do anything in pain relief. Some of my favorite myths that I see popping up, one of them is, my pain is really complex and persistent, and nothing else I've tried has been able to help. Therefore, I am unfixable. I have literally had people ask me, hey, do you do counseling for people who just have to live with their pain? And no, I do not, because every damn person I have worked with has left feeling better. Nobody has left feeling worse. Nobody has left feeling the same. So no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say, well, you just have to suck it up and deal, because you don't. You don't. Some people think, oh, I have to really know a lot about fitness and movement and the body for this to work, and that's just not me. Oh, honey, it's me. In case you hadn't noticed, it's kind of me. I do the research so you don't have to. All you have to do is show up and let me poke at you virtually, because I haven't had all my shots yet. Just saying. The other one is, if I just get the right exercises and I keep taking Advil, I'll be fine. Well, here's the thing, is that it's not about the exercises. Any of those exercises, you can just find them by Googling. It's which exercises are going to work best for you and how exactly to do them. For Shifra, she really needed to pay attention. Okay, I'm going to draw on the belly. Like, okay, that starts to change things. Some people don't need that because they're doing that. Some people need different exercises for their shoulders, etc., etc. It's whatever is going on, like, you need to know exactly what's going to work best for you. And it really helps just to have somebody be like, yes, this is it. Good. Oh, thanks for being here. One question I have for you guys is, are any of those myths hitting home for you? Like, is it my pain is complex and persistent? Is it I have to know a lot about fitness? Or, nah, I just need the right exercises? If any of those resonate, put that in the chat, because I'd really like to know. I'm super curious as to which ones really work. Also, I need to hydrate right now. And while I do that, if it's all right with you guys, I'm going to tell you that what I've found that really works for the long-term pain relief. And that, my friends, is that you don't need more exercises. You need expertise. That will help you. It will find your silver bullet so you can stabilize your body faster. See what I did there? You'll do the exercises right so that silver bullet works best. You get educated. It will help reinforce what's working and support what needs help. Reinforcement. We're going to keep validating the effectiveness of that silver bullet, and when we need to shift it out, damn well will. It will help you stay on track, and it will empower you to take care of your own body so your pain never gets as bad as it is now. Because it's damn expensive not to handle your pain. Lumbar fusion surgery, it's like $65,000 at the low end. Oh, and a lot of insurance companies won't pay for it because it actually is not super effective, and it has a high rate of rehospitalization. So they're like, no, we're not going to do that. That's fun. Herniated disc surgery starts at $15,000. Repeat physical therapy visits, maybe your insurance pays for it, yay! But if they don't work for you, it's still a waste of your time. And time, frankly, is pretty damn valuable. You know, and pain meds can be a problem even if they're just over-the-counter anti-inflammatories. A lot of people take a lot of Advil to deal with their pain. Long-term ibuprofen use is associated with heart attacks, strokes, and intestinal bleeding. So be careful out there, you guys. Oh, good. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. We know opioids are a problem. 80% of people who've been introduced to opioids then begin to use heroin. I'm just saying. So you can't afford not to handle your pain. Oh gosh, here's why people are leaving, because it is time. I'm just saying, let me share this contact thing with you, because if you are having pain, if you want to get rid of that pain, give me a call. somaticanatomy.com/relief, because you can get some relief. Make an appointment. Let's talk. I'm not going to sell you anything you don't need, because frankly, I'm not that good at selling things, if I'm going to be honest. What I am good at is fixing people. That's the fun part. You might have gathered that I have a good time doing that. So give me a call, somaticanatomy.com/relief. Schedule yourself a time. We will make things work, and it will be super, super cool. So Shifra's saying that I've got the eye to see your issue without touching and give you simple ways to solve pain, you know? Yes, my eye has gotten really good over the years, and let me tell you that working exclusively online for the past year has only developed it. All right, I'm going to check the chat and see if there are any other questions in there. It looks like you guys are pretty good on there. I'm just going to say then, thank you guys so much for joining in today. Thank you to my wonderful models again, big hearts. You guys are the best. Thank you for sharing your sacroiliac joints with all of us today. That was wonderful. And again, thank you guys for being here. Enjoy your anatomy. Give me a call at somaticanatomy.com/relief, with all the HTTPS, etc. in front of that. And everything shall be awesome. All shall be awesome, and all shall be awesome. And every last damn thing shall be awesome.